Very pleasant morning to my dear children. Welcome back to English online class of Sri Gokulam Public School, Guruvayur. I hope all my dear children are safe and happy at home. Yes? Okay children, then let's start our today's session. Let's continue our journey with Major Haripal Singh Ahluwalia. Who's Major Haripal Singh Ahluwalia? Major Haripal Singh Ahluwalia is a great Indian mountaineer. He is an adventurous person. He is a member of, or he was a member of, first successful expedition of Indian Army in 1965 to conquer the Mount Everest. So let's continue his experiences. Okay. So in the lesson 5, the summit within, Major HPS Ahluwalia, he narrates his experiences or feelings as he stood on the summit of Mount Everest. What do you mean by summit, children? Summit means the highest point of a hill or a mountain. So he said that as he stood on the summit of the Mount Everest, he felt very humble. Many emotions arose in him. Out of all that emotions, one particular emotion stood dominant or superior, and that was humility. Humility means humbleness. And he says that to climb the Mount Everest is so difficult. It's not an easy task. It is a tiring task. It is an arduous task. He also says that it is difficult to climb within. Climb within means inside. To climb or to conquer our thoughts, our negative thoughts or all our emotions which become obstacle to our goals. So it is difficult to conquer all our negative thoughts or feelings and be a successful person. So he says that climbing within is as difficult as climbing the Mount Everest. Then he goes on to say that what attracted him towards Mount Everest. What is so special about Mount Everest, or what is so special about mountains? So he says that mountains, it poses a great challenge. It attracts the human beings. It attracts the adventurous persons. They feel very attracted towards mountains because mountains are the strongest, they are the highest, and they pose great challenges. From childhood onwards, he was attracted towards mountain. So let's continue our lesson. Let's start with our second part. All of you look into your text, take page number 76. Once having granted this, the question remains, why Everest? Why did he conquer Everest itself? There are so many other peaks in this world. What attracted him towards Mount Everest? So he's asking such questions to himself, and he himself is answering to all his questions. That's the funniest thing in this, because it is the highest, the mightiest, and had defied many previous attempts. The Mount Everest, you know, it is the highest peak of the world. It is the mightiest. Mightiest means it is the strongest, and it has defied, it has resisted many previous attempts. It has resisted many attempts of previous mountaineers. Many people, many adventurous persons, many adventurous mountaineers tried to climb Mount Everest, tried to conquer Mount Everest, but they failed. Their attempts failed. They couldn't complete their tasks. It takes the last ounce of one's energy. We need a lot of physical strength to climb the Mount Everest. So even our last bit of energy is taken up by the mountains. When we climb the mountains, we need to go through many physical hardships and difficulties to conquer Mount Everest. He says that it's a brutal struggle between rock and ice. The peak, it's covered with ice, isn't it? So it is a struggle between rock and ice. Once taken up, it cannot be given up halfway, even when one's life is at stake. At stake is a phrase. At stake means even when our life is at risk, we cannot give up our task. Once we climb the Mount Everest, it's not easy to climb down, because both the ways are equally difficult. Both climbing upwards and climbing downwards is equally difficult. So when we feel that, oh, it is so hard for me, it's so difficult for me, I'm not able to climb anymore, okay, I'll stop my way here. It's not an easy task. If you take such a decision, it's not easy. Even if your life is at risk, it's not an easy task going downwards. It is equally difficult as going upwards. And then when the summit is climbed, there is the exhilaration, the joy of having done something, the sense of battle fought and won. There's a feeling of victory and of happiness. So the author says that once we reach on the summit of the Mount Everest, there is a sense of joy, there is a sense of exhilaration. Exhilaration means we feel very excited, we feel very happy. some kind of special emotions surge in us, arose in us. It feels like that we have fought a battle and we had victory in that battle. So conquering the Mount Everest is compared to a battle, fighting a battle. So conquering the Mount Everest is compared to fighting in a battle. See the next paragraph. Glimpsing a peak in the distance, I get transported to another world. I experience a change within myself which can only be called mystical. So whenever he looks at the peak, whenever he looks at the mountain peaks, he feels transported, he feels shifted to some other world. And he calls that experience as mystical, means spiritual. He feels oneness with God. By its beauty, aloofness means to stand distant or to stand independent. By its beauty, aloofness, might, ruggedness and the difficulties encountered on the way, the peak draws me to it as Everest did. It's a challenge that is difficult to resist. So when he looks at the peaks, at the mountain peaks, he feels to climb those mountain peaks. He gets attracted towards that mountain peaks. It is as he feels as attracted towards Everest. So he sees that he is attracted towards these peaks because of its ruggedness. Ruggedness means because of its roughness, because of its harshness, and also because of its mightiness, because of its strength and the difficulties it poses and the difficulties it presents to human beings. Looking back, I find that I have not yet fully explained why I climbed Everest. It's like answering a question, why you breathe? Why do you help your neighbor? Why do you want to do good acts? There's no final answer possible. He himself asked the question, right? Why did he climb the Mount Everest, or what attracted towards the Mount Everest? He tried to answer in some paragraphs, but still he is not satisfied with all his answers given. He says that I am not satisfied with the answers given. I am not able to answer it fully. For example, if someone asks you, why do you breathe? Do you have an answer for it? Yes, we have an answer, that because we need to survive, we need to exist, for that we breathe. And if someone asks, why do you help your neighbor? Why do you help your dear friends? Or why do you help your dear ones? Do you have any answer for that? It's because we like to do good for others, isn't it? Yes. We don't expect anything in return from them. So we just help them in their difficulties and in their troubles. They in turn help us, right? So we just help them without expecting anything in return. And he also says that it's just like asking, why do you do good acts? Because we do not know bad acts, isn't it, children? Yes, because we know only to do good things to others. We don't know how to act badly towards others. So he says that it is like giving answers to such questions. Then there is the fact that Everest is not just a physical climb. The man who has been to the mountain top becomes conscious in a special manner of his own smallness in this large universe. So he says that conquering any peaks, let it be any peaks in this world, not only Everest, it's not just a physical climb, it's not just a physical activity, it's not just a physical task. A lot of mental involvement is also included in it. He says that we feel it's like a dots, we feel very small in this large universe. When we stand on the summit, we feel that we are just like small dots in this large universe. We feel that we are nothing in this world. We are just small dots, tiny creatures in this large universe. The physical conquest of a mountain is only one part of the achievement. There is more to it than that. It is followed by a sense of fulfillment. There is a satisfaction of a deep urge to rise above one's surroundings. It is an eternal love for adventure in man. The experience is not merely physical, it is emotional, it is spiritual. Just as he told in the previous paragraph, he says that climbing the mountains or climbing any peaks is not just a physical conquest. A lot of mental involvement is also included in it. We feel spiritual, we feel emotional, we feel oneness with God, we feel that we are tiny creatures in this large universe. He says that it is our love, eternal love. Eternal means something that doesn't have any end. It is an eternal love for adventure that attracts man to the Everest. So it's not just a physical task, or it's not just a physical activity. So here ends our second part of the lesson, the summit within, and we will continue the third part in the next class. So I hope you understood the second part clearly. So read the lesson once more, download the notes that are attached, do attempt the test. So children, that's all for today. Let's wind up the session. See you in the next class.